black people are like, white people are not being hunted after. Y'all can come here and live a great freaking life. Alabama is a safe haven. The PhD fraternities and sororities are a safe haven
You
for
think
white
you're
people.
being hunted?
Let me tell. Okay, y'all can laugh, but until you have walked as a black person on this campus, y'all truly don't understand. And I've gone to school with white people my whole life. I've gone. Making it seem
you live in the least racist country in the history of the world.
You're in Alabama. You are literally in the place where it's not okay.
I'm so confused. I want to know why a lot of black people actually look down on themselves and all they see is their incapabilities instead of what they are actually capable of doing. And why do they feel they can't coexist with the white people? Hey fam, yeah, welcome to another video. In this video, a lot of black students who openly admit that they don't like white people, they hate them so much, and they are in support of anti-white racism. This actually got heated in a debate with Charlie Kirk. Let's analyze this compilation together.
Hi, my name is Erin. I'm a student here, and I'm an African American Studies major. But one thing I do agree with that you haven't said tonight is the school choice thing. I do agree that you should be able to go to a school that's outside of your zip code. I went to a great high school. That's exactly why I was able to come here. But my other question is that what are some examples of critical race theory? Because I know like another question that another girl came, she said that she had to learn CRT in her sorority, and what I thought it was is that, you know, you should know how to interact with people of other races, because I went to a school where it's, you know, mostly Caucasian people, and I had to learn how to interact with other people. So is it something like that, or is it something deeper that we don't really know?
No, it's super simple. So let me just kind of ask you, I bet we agree. Do you support black-only dormitories?
Well, when I think of black-only dormitories, I believe that you're talking about like maybe HBCUs, because it's mostly black people.
No.
Where are these?
Western Washington University, public school in Washington, has black-only dormitories. Is that something you would support?
I mean, I would probably live in one, but I mean that.
Wait, so you don't want to live with white people?
I didn't say. I mean, I didn't say that. But I mean, it's kind of hard sometimes. Like I have multiple. I mean, you know, I have a lot of white friends or whatever, but sometimes, I mean, it's hard to fit in here. Well, when you go here and you're a different color, I mean, it's not hard to.
What would you support? White-only dormitories?
It's some around here. Not many black people go here, so it technically is white only if you think about it.
No, it's not. No, I mean, let me ask you another question.
I don't think anybody here would. Oh, well, some people might, you know, support that. I mean, I never said I supported any only kind of thing.
That's why I'm asking, right? I think that, you know.
Do you support white only dormitories?
Absolutely not. I think it would be racist.
It's preposterous. I believe that.
And guess what? Black-only dormitories are racist too.
I mean, I guess so. I might live in one if I could, but.
Oh, so she doesn't agree that black-only dormitories is racism, but she thinks the white-only dormitory is racism. Did she just listen to her self-talk? Oh my God, she's just in between.
I can't, so.
Okay, well, let me ask you another question. At Columbia University, they have black-only graduation ceremonies. Would you support that?
I mean, is it just like, so are they not able to graduate with the white people? Is that why they can't?
Well, they have a separate ceremony just for black people.
Oh, I mean, I guess it's kind of like the separate ceremony when they don't want to go to graduation. They want to do it online. That's how I think of it.
So do you think segregation is evil and wrong?
I mean, black people weren't even able to join sororities here until 2012. So, not the PhD one. So, you know, segregation here, George Wallace put it in front of the doors.
I just know that's not true, and like...
Okay, when were PhD sororities and fraternities desegregated? 2013. Oh,
so you're trying to tell me that black people were not able to join a fraternity because of the color of their skin?
Do you remember George Wallace too? Segregation now, segregation, you know, for all, forever.
That's what
happened as well.
That's what you're espousing when you say that black-only graduation ceremonies or dormitories.
Black-only graduation ceremonies are the least of our problems, least of yours. Do you think that you'll be able to go to a HBCU and have this same turnout and have these same people? Let me tell you.
I would hope so, but I mean.
So what would you say to them?
But here's the thing. I'm sorry, what?
What would you say to room full of black people about critical race theory?
You know what I would say? I'd say your skin color means nothing. You're made in the image of God.
You're right. But I completely agree. But I can tell you right now. I'm a Christian. I believe in God, but I have been going here for 3 years. I'm a junior. I have. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
I have most definitely faced racism and prejudice, no matter what I believe in, and it's just really hard to sit up here and listen to people come up here and say, "Oh, I don't want to learn CRT." It's just making you able to interact with other types of people. I have no problem.
No, it's not. So let me just tell you. So at the Georgia public schools in Atlanta, they put black 6th graders in one classroom and white 6th graders in another classroom. Is that?
Can you show me a video of those kids?
Atlanta segregation of public schools.
Well,
it was
please
national
show me.
news.
Not to interrupt, but I have family members that go to schools in these areas, and I also have people who live in redlining districts
but
where
I'm just
they
asking,
can't go to good schools.
Do you support segregation?
No, I do not.
Okay, we agree. Therefore,
Okay.
black-only dormitories and black-only graduation ceremonies and putting 6th graders in one classroom based on skin color
I
or the
don't have
other,
any
those
choice
are
of these.
those are outgrowths of CRT.
So tell me, give me an example of what critical race theory is. That was my first
I'll be
question.
happy to tell you. So critical race theory is an emphasis at saying skin color matters, that the color of someone's skin is important in judging the value of the human being.
I get that, but if you were teaching a class that is like that was talking about critical race theory, we were all sitting here.
Yes.
What would your lecture be? Like, tell me what are your points? Like, who is this author that you're reading
Herbert
from? about
Marcuse and
Okay.
an author by the last name of Spinoza wrote a book called One-Dimensional Man in the 1960s. Herbert Marcuse came from the Frankfurt School in the 1930s, and he started this at Columbia University. Coming out of a Marxist belief of power dynamics, he believed that power struggles were not just the rich versus the poor, but also black versus white. And he wanted to expand the kind of conversation to also engage racial dynamics. Inherent in critical race theory is a belief that people are not individuals, they're members of tribes. Inherent in the idea of critical race theory is that there is no free speech or reason or scientific inquiry. These are white supremacist, Eurocentric constructs that have been put into the Western world. And the one that I think that is most prevalent, CRT believes racism is everywhere, that racism is the norm, that racism is within our systems, it's in our language, it's in our customs, it's in our codes, it's in all these sorts of things. Now, that's a super quick version of what CRT is, so happy to dive into that more, but I think we don't have to overcomplicate it, which is, do you think people should be judged based on the color of their skin?
It's not that I think that, but it's that it's happening, and you cannot ignore that I might not be treated the same as him as he walks.
You're
through the
right.
door.
It is happening. Like at Coca-Cola, they say they need to train their employees to abolish whiteness. At AT&T, they said they would need to train their employees to get rid of whiteness. We have a supply and demand issue with racism in our country. We have an incredibly low supply of racism and incredible demand to try to fulfill it. So we've created racism where it doesn't exist and tried to turn everyone into mini racists against each other, which has now manifested itself into a massive anti-white movement in our country where I believe, more than anything else, we should care about character, not skin color. Do you agree with that?
It's not. I don't believe that you understand what I'm saying. It's not that I don't agree with not. I'm sorry. Oh, it's not that I don't agree with, you know, what you just said, but is that black people are like white people are not being hunted after. Y'all can come here.
I don't get it. Did she just say the white people are not hunted because they're in their own country? How is the black people hunted in America? How is the black people hunted in other countries? I do not get it. It's just the mentality, yeah. We have this thing in our head that says they just hate the black skin. They just hate the black color. We feel we can't fit in anywhere the white is. That doesn't even make any sense at all. When can we actually purge ourselves from this kind of thinking, from this kind of mentality? Then we will be free.
Here and live a great freaking life. Alabama is a safe haven. The PhD fraternities and sororities are a safe haven
You
for
think
white
you're
people.
being hunted?
Let me tell. Okay, y'all can laugh, but until you have walked as a black person on this campus, y'all truly don't understand. And I've gone to school with white people my whole life. I've gone.
So
but it's just.
I will end with this. You're not being hunted at the University of Alabama. and there is no boogeyman that's trying to get you.
It's not. You're making it seem.
You live in the least racist country in the history of the world.
You're in Alabama. You are literally in the place where it's not okay.
You mean the place that has given you more talking time than any other person here, and where they sit respectfully.
You're supposed to shut me down and be like, go sit down? I mean, of course I'm going to talk to you.
That would have happened 100 years ago. You're right. 100 years ago, you might not have been allowed to come into this room, which would have been evil. No, instead, we are here. We're creating a movement to say we never want to go back to the segregation that once existed in this country, that is now being pushed by people in corporate America, in academia, and other places. We want to strive for a country that cares about character and the soul and the spirit of the individual, not on tribes, not on the melanin content in people's skin. And I will say this as compassionately as I can, is that you are not being hunted as a black person in America. There is not a single statistic that affirms that. There's not a single data point. Instead, the opposite is true. We are the least racist, most accepting, multiracial country in the history.
I think America is one of the most accepting country, accepting in terms of people's color. America is not a part of those countries that discriminate in between the black and the white. America supports black people. There are more than thousands of black people in America that are being employed, that are walking around America, and they have a means to a livelihood. America supports black people. So I don't know where this old narrative is coming from. Barack Obama is actually a first American president. And if America was against the black, Barack Obama would have never emerged as a president of America. Are you getting what I'm saying?
History of the planet, and I pray one day you'll be thankful to live in that country. Okay. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you.
Everybody.
CJ, come here. Really quick, I have a question. Come here. Go right there. Right there. So CJ, just really quick. You're a black person. Are you hunted at the university?
You know, I don't feel hunted at this university, but I guess the difference between me and some people here is that I don't choose to be a victim, Charlie. Which I think...
Exactly. You're playing to be a victim. Saying you are being hunted because you see yourself as a victim everywhere you turn, everywhere you go. Can we quit being the victim? Can we just erase this mentality of being a racist, of being black? If we can just see ourselves as human beings, remove the skin color, we'll be fine, we'll be all right, and we'll blend in. It's just up there that you feel like, oh no, I can't coexist with the white people because they are superior to me in terms of my skin color. No, your skin color do not define who you are. Get that in.
Which I think is the biggest problem we have here today, are people who wake up every single day looking for a reason to be oppressed, looking for a reason to cry and make an excuse about why they're not in a position to go win. I don't see the color of my skin as a disability. I see it as simply an accessory that I couldn't control. I've been black all my life. I've been black today, and I'm thriving here. I think that's a roll tide right there, right? I don't know.
And so CJ, let me ask you, CRT, racist?
It's not just racist, it's the exact iteration of white supremacy, just in reverse. I think it's important that we start teaching young people not to hate other people because of the color of their skin. We can teach black people to be proud of who they are without telling white people they should be ashamed of who they are. You know?
Amen. So, closing thought, CJ. Is this trying to divide the country?
It's not only trying to divide the country, it's trying to break apart the foundation upon which it was built. You know, people forget the words of MLK, Rosa Parks, all those people who fought so hard for us to be a united country, where we didn't see the color of one's skin, but their character. This is about taking us away from the vision and the dream of Martin Luther King and just taking us to the dream of Kamala Harris, and I don't want to live that dream.
Amen. CJ, you're a great American. Give it up for CJ, everybody. So good.
I love that. I love that.
God bless you, man.
I love that.
Everybody, this was great tonight. I want to thank some of the disagreements. It was great as always. Everybody, Alabama's a great state. It truly is. And I just want to say God bless this wonderful country and for everyone being here tonight. And in closing, the future is dependent on what you do. If we act and if we're optimistic and solution-oriented, our best days are ahead. It is a gift from the Lord to live in America, the greatest nation ever to exist in the history of the world.
that you have more opportunities than I do,
No,
than other people.
But you came back to the mic based
All I
on.
have is my stories.
No, but-
If you're not just going to take it as facts, like, you don't take it as facts. They're
No,
my stories.
let's talk back why you came back to the mic. I want to make
And I
this
take it
so
that I'm
clear
hearing yours and
because
trying to-
there is zero difference between you and I.
If you're saying genetic,
Straight.
yes. But when other people...
Then why
not
do we?
just
Then why
human
would we
beings-
focus on those differences, of which the perpetuation of this lie does? This divides us. This divides the country. Because then you start looking at people based on skin
But it
color.
doesn't mean that it's not there.
Well, it does not. Oh, it's racist and it's a lie. So it's both.
No, it's there.
Thank you.
Like,
Prove it.
Right, but if you're not going to take my stories into consideration, then
I will let another
of course,
military
I can't-
member
I can't
have that
just bring-
conversation.
Someone's like, well, that's a human being in a hat. Well,
You are a
anyone
human being in a
just-
hat.
Like anyone just like, oh yeah, that's not like the racist. It's there. Like,
Do you think I'm racist?
I didn't say that.
No, I'm asking.
I have no idea. I don't know you as a person. I can't say that.
So the assumption would be
I'm not
neutrality.
sure. I'm not going to say yes.
See how wrong that is, though? So the assumption is that I have to prove I'm not racist.
No, I take everyone as it is. Like, I'm
Do you
going
think-
to come
do you think-
to you.
do you
I
think-
come to everyone respectfully.
Same.
In each and every way. Like, what you do as a character, that's on you.
Amen.
Now,
So you-
when it comes to the topic of white privilege, I still believe it's there. And if you're just not going to take my stories for that, what it is, just because it's one instance of a hardworking person that you do that, yes, that's great.
But you're another one. You're a living example
No,
that white
I am,
privilege
but I'm
doesn't
not
exist.
saying that other white people.
You went to the
white
military,
privilege
made good
is
choices,
there.
you have your act together,
They have more
you will live a
opportunities.
successful
That's all I'm
life.
saying. That I will have a successful life just because I'm in the military?
No, because you made good choices. You have good choice privilege,
Obviously,
not
you
any
make
sort of
good
skin
choices.
color privilege.
True.
Right? Did you not make good choices?
Not really.
No? Going to the military was a bad choice? Serving our
say
country
that.
was a bad choice?
You said that.
No, you just said you made bad choices, so
I
I'm
didn't say I
challenging the
make.
premise.
No, you asked if I do make. I said not really. I said not really. Don't change it. You asked me if I make good choices. I said not really. And then you.
Well, I'm
went on
saying,
about the military.
based on the information you
That's irrelevant.
provided me, I said you've made good choices, like joining the military, because that
And
takes
then-
responsibility
and then you asked me, did I
and
make good
discipline and
choices? I said,
patriotism.
Not really. So.
Okay, so then.
So then, if you fail, then it's your own fault. Doesn't have anything to do with white privilege. You just said you made bad choices. Maybe that's
Why does it feel like because he's black is why he wasn't promoted? Oh my goodness. Why does this black people feel they are so entitled? When you fail, you failed. If you made a bad choice, if you didn't read your books and you failed, you failed. Don't come here and come and start saying this because you were black. That was why you were failed in school. That doesn't even make any sense. It doesn't even count. Your intelligence alone will speak for you. If your brain is hot, guy, that brain will speak for you. Whether you're black or whether you're white. What are you saying?
why you weren't promoted.
I didn't
Not
say
because
I
you were
made bad
black.
choices.
Said you made bad choices, my friend.
I said not really.
That's a negative slight. So not really.
It's
So
been
maybe you didn't
triggered.
get promoted because you made not really good choices instead of your skin color, of which you attributed the basis of your white privilege argument on.
No, I have stories that can attest to the reason that they were white and they.
But you made not really good choices.
Oh, I guess you're just going to debunk me on that then. I guess so.
I look at you as a human being
Congratulations.
and as a son of God, not as a skin color.
Think that slavery and ensuing Jim Crow laws had a lasting impact on the black community in the United States?
Some, and that's a good question. So if you correlate all the impact of Jim Crow and slavery, I would say that you could generously say 26% single motherhood in the black community in the 1960s. So about 26% of all black babies born in the 1950s and 1960s were born to a single mother. Now it's 77%. So I would ask you, why did it jump 50 points, 50%, since the Civil Rights Act as America got significantly less racist?
So that's fine. I don't know why it jumped. That who cares?
Well,
But
it wasn't slavery or Jim Crow, it
No.
was something else.
so the only lasting impact that slavery had on the U.S. was that less black families had fathers.
No, not necessarily, but have you ever known anyone that's owned a slave?
No, but I know a few presidents who did.
You know them personally? So you know anyone that was ever a slave?
Well, no, because So okay, I don't know anyone who was a slave. So it had no impact?
No, it had some impact. The question is, did it have an impact that is measurable and significant enough now in 2021, where we saw a key metric that influenced the livelihood of the black community, like single motherhood rate, that as America got less racist, all of a sudden now 77% of black babies are born without a father, where before it was 26%. And I suppose the question is this, because this is the question about systemic racism, right? What law that is in practice today actively discriminates against black people?
So here's what I would say to that. The idea of capitalism and America, like you said, is it doesn't matter who you are, show me what you got, is fresh start. So what would happen if you had like 150 years in a country for your family to build wealth, to own a house, to have a job, to get college education for your kids, to build generational wealth? And then you took another family who didn't have the opportunity to do any of that for 150 years and then set them off on the same even starting point. Is that really an even starting point? And would that not result in some kind of systemic disadvantage for those people?
The black middle class was the fastest growing demographic in the 1940s and 1950s until the Great Society Act and that intervention. It's very tempting to do what you're doing. And I'm not faulting you for it, because you've probably been propagandized to believe it. And that's okay, because I think you're actually a victim in this case, because you've been misled to want to believe that things you never lived under, never understood, and that I think you are partially seeing had a disproportionate impact in the world that you're living in today. So for example, if that were to be true, then first-generation immigrants would not be able to quickly be able to make good choices and move up the ladder in this country, which I think we have some first-generation immigrants here tonight. Now, let me say this, that this idea that America is systemically racist to the core would also be quickly debunked by the fact that more blacks have legally immigrated to America since the 1980s than ever were here brought as slaves. Over 2 million blacks from the Caribbean and from Nigeria and from Western Africa have come here to America. So the question is, why is it that in every statistic that you could probably rattle off, are black people doing worse than white people? What is it? Well, I would point to the fact that fathers are not in the home, because it was 26% of black females in the 1960s were single mothers. Now it's 77%. If you look at the Brookings Institution, a liberal think tank, there are 3 things you need to do to stay out of poverty in America. Number 1, graduate high school. Well, because of public sector unions and the dominance of our government schools, that's harder than ever in far too many communities. Not just black communities, not just Hispanic communities. The second thing, get a job, any job. And the third thing is to obviously not to commit crimes, but to try to get married before you have children. And so some of what I believe has contributed to the downfall of some of these communities has nothing to do with white people with the neck on black people. Instead, it's the following. Fathers no longer being in the home, the rise of sexual anarchy that came in post-1960s liberalism that removed this idea of sex being confined to a marital relationship, to be gratuitous and everywhere. All of a sudden you've seen an increase in not just the birth rate, but the single motherhood rate and abortion alongside of it. I would just ask this question, I'm just curious. How much do you think outputs are based on people's decisions, based on the advantages they're born into?
I mean, as someone who's taken Introduction to Sociology, your life is greatly influenced by what the conditions you're born into. But I promise this will be the last thing. Just, you say there's less fathers in the home of, many black families, and that's the issue. So what do you think is keeping fathers out of the home in those?
It's a great question.
Do you think it could be over-policing and police arresting, like, disproportionately?
We went through this, everybody.
Do you think it could be law enforcement disproportionately enforcing laws in black neighborhoods and arresting more black males than any other demographic?
So blacks are actually under-arrested and under-policed per the percentage of crimes they commit. We talked about some of those numbers. But let me tell you one thing in particular. In the Great Society Act, we decided as a civilization to subsidize single motherhood. In the 1960s, we told black women, you no longer need to be married to have children, you can get married to the government. And we saw a dramatic escalation and increase of the deterioration of the nuclear family and a replacement of that of the nanny state and the welfare state. And I would say this, that every single activist group that steps up, that talks about systemic racism and oppression, if you look at the data, purely the data, if there is a movement to put black fathers back in the home and to try and challenge the sexual anarchy that came in the post-1960s and had a more prudent and pious view of sexual relations in America, which is a very unpopular view, by the way, for most Americans, but it's true that before the 1960s, sexual relations were, at least culturally, supposed to always be confined to marital relationships. The more gratuitous that we have been in trying to catalog it in media and in pop culture and in Hollywood and yes, in schools, then all of a sudden you have seen people say, well, why do I need to get married for that? Marriage is the bedrock institution, and strong families create strong communities, which create strong civilizations. And this is why immigrant communities that have come to America, and first-generation immigrants, they're able to move so quickly up the socioeconomic ladder because they might not have wealth, they might not have big bank accounts, they might not own a lot of land, but they have the thing they know that will keep them together, which is a family that will not be broken up at any means necessary. I'll finally say this. Let me just say this. No, I want to thank you for coming because it took courage to ask that question. I'm just going to ask you to do one thing. Please forget everything you learned in Introduction to Sociology 101 because it was likely all garbage. So thank you so much.
Oh my goodness, this was so long, and yes, I'm not going to allow this to be too longer, but my own take is that family is actually everything. The mentality of the black of not coexisting with white people needs to be destroyed as soon as possible, because I feel America is one of the countries that have supported black people so far so good. America accommodates so many of the black people, and yet we keep saying they discriminate us, they are racist, they are this, they are that. It's just in our head, it's just in our mindsets. We need to purge ourselves from all this so we can be free. Free yourself. Your brain, your intelligence should speak for you in whatever you do. If you meet all the criteria to have a position in the United States, you would get it. Barack Obama did it, so you can do it. Don't tell me that they are against the black people. Your skin is not your qualification. It's what's up here. What's your take? I'll see you all in our next one. To this.